Parallel ninja worlds collide, Empire vs. Altered Konoha. Like, share and subscribe. Episode 76, Uchiha Itachi betrayed? Danzo, Hiruzen, you are the Hokage. Under the spread of the Amaterasu flame. In the original root organization base, all the buildings, personnel, materials, supplies, and equipment. All were devoured by the Amaterasu flame that spread to the entire root organization base. Everything belonging to the original root organization was burned, leaving nothing behind. After all of this was burned out, the Amaterasu flame still did not go out. Instead, it continued to burn in the burned-out root underground base. Until this underground base could no longer support itself, the ground above collapsed directly. The terrifying movement spread throughout the entire Konoha village on the spot. Shimura Danzo looked at the huge pit below. For a moment, he was actually a little confused. Where is this? Is it his root base? It shouldn't be. How could this happen? However, Danzo looked around. The surrounding scene was indeed what it looked like around his root base in the past. Every blade of grass, every building, was indeed something that existed near the root base. And since that was the case, Shimura Danzo looked at the huge pit below again. Below, there is such a large open area. Is it his root base? Danzo-sama. Aburame Ryoma was also pale at this moment. Our base is gone. Shimura Danzo came back to his senses from his previous state in a trance. Looking at the flames still burning below, the body suddenly staggered. Almost fell down. Shimura Danzo's breathing was a little rapid at this moment. He was supported by Aburame Ryoma. Looking at the burning black flames below, he felt that his eyes were black. My roots are gone? My roots are gone. Impossible, absolutely impossible. How could such a large root organization become like this? SEAL Squad, quickly go to 240 position. A familiar voice came from nearby. Hurry up and control the fire. Yes, Hokage-sama. The ninjas of the SEAL Squad responded in unison. Shimura Danzo looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen blankly. Danzo, what's going on? Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned at his old friend's strange look and asked, what happened to you? What's going on? Why did the roots collapse? What did Danzo do in the root base again? Danzo woke up completely when he heard this, his face flushed, and he was shaking with anger. It has nothing to do with me. What does Hiruzen mean by this look? What's wrong with his roots? How could he have done it himself? How could he do something in his hometown and even destroy it? I also want to know what happened. Shimura Danzo gritted his teeth and looked at the collapsed root base. He went out to tell Orochimaru a message. The result. As soon as I came back, the roots were gone. The entire base collapsed. Wait. This flame? Shimura Danzo looked at the actions of the SEAL class ninjas and his face changed. This flame, Amaterasu, definitely Amaterasu. Even if it was attached to the soil, it was still burning. We can only let those SEAL team members put out the fire with SEALs. No doubt. This is definitely the Amaterasu of Uchiha Itachi. Sarutobi Hiruzen's heart moved, and he stared at Danzo with burning eyes. Danzo, tell me the truth, what are you doing? Danzo, this guy. Could it be that he has some connection with Uchiha Itachi? I said, it has nothing to do with me. Danzo was almost mad. I was not here before, and I just came here because of the noise. How do I know why my roots were burned by the Amaterasu of Uchiha Itachi? What is going on? Hokage-sama, I should be able to testify to this. Aburame Ryoma said to Sarutobi Hiruzen, who looked suspicious. I and Lord Danzo was not here before. And we have no reason to destroy the root base. Yes. Danzo was also furious, pointing to the huge pit beside him, his arm trembling. My root base is probably burned to ashes now. I don't know if anyone can escape from the bed alive. Thinking about it, Danzo felt his heart was about to break. I finally saved up so much property, is it easy? He is not the Hokage of Konoha. It took so much effort to build up his own power in Konoha village. Such a big base, so many elite ninjas of the root organization, so many supplies, so many research materials and data. Now. All gone. Burn it all in a fire. Uchiha Itachi. Shimura Danzo gritted his teeth, and the name popped out from his teeth. This be ************* D. He actually dared to burn my root base? What does he want to do? Damn it. I'm going to kill FTB. Opposite. Sarutobi Hiruzen still didn't completely believe Danzo's words. Now, the root base below should have been burned to ashes. But who knows if this was directed and acted by Danzo himself? For example, he might have transferred the root's personnel, materials, and information to other places before this. Then, he colluded with Uchiha Itachi and burned the root organization to ashes. In this way, Danzo hid his original power. As for the future, Danzo might even ask for funds under the pretext of rebuilding the root organization. If that's the case, using the funds to build a new root organization, plus those that were transferred away before, Danzo's power will double. Humph. Danzo, my old friend, has a lot of little tricks. I have to be on guard. Hiruzen, what's that look in your eyes? Danzo looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen's gaze at him, and was so angry that he almost vomited blood. Do you think I'm lying to you? What I said is true. I really don't know anything. Uchiha Itachi, that guy, how do I know what kind of psychosis he has committed again? Uchiha Itachi is a psychopath who can even kill his own parents. Who knows what inexplicable things he can do? Regarding Itachi, I just have something here. Sarutobi Hiruzen stared at Danzo for a while, but couldn't see anything. Call Yen and Koharu to discuss it together. Okay. Shimura Danzo nodded fiercely. Uchiha Itachi, that be ******** D. How dare he destroy his roots? If he doesn't kill him, he won't be able to get rid of the hatred in his heart. Hokage's office. Sarutobi Hiruzen, Shimura Danzo, Midokado Hamura, Udatane Koharu. The 4 top people in Konoha are all here. You've all finished reading it. Sarutobi Hiruzen, holding a pipe in his mouth, said in a deep voice, tell me what you think. Beside, Shimura Danzo and the others are now a little confused. Just now, after they arrived at the Hokage's office, Sarutobi Hiruzen suddenly passed them a letter. It said that Uchiha Itachi, who is now in the Akatsuki organization, used the secret information sent back by the Ninja Crow. The result. When several people saw it, they were dumbfounded. Uchiha Itachi actually said that Orochimaru found visitors from Otherworld near the Dragon Vein of the Wind Country. He also said that he met Uchiha Obito from Otherworld and the first Hokage of the Imperial World from Otherworld. These visitors from Otherworld are very powerful. They captured the one-tailed Jinchuriki of Sand Shinobi. And they caused Akatsuki to suffer heavy losses. Nonsense. Shimura Danzo slammed the letter in his hand on the table and shouted angrily, Uchiha Itachi, that be ******* D, actually made up such a ridiculous thing to fool us? What does he want to do? I don't think this kind of thing from Otherworld is credible either. Midokado Hamura also nodded and said. Udatane Koharu frowned and said, Uchiha Itachi, what is he going to do? If these are false, why would he make up such things? Ha! Of course. Shimura Danzo sneered, it must be to confuse people. Hearing this, Midokado Hamura and Udatane Koharu looked at each other. They also understood what had just happened. Danzo's root organization base, for some reason, was suddenly burned to ashes by Amaterasu's flames. Such a large root organization base was burned to ashes without leaving anything. The ground above the root organization base collapsed under the flames of Amaterasu. No wonder Danzo is like this now. Danzo, tell me the truth. Sarutobi Hiruzen was silent for a moment, staring into Danzo's eyes and asked, after the Uchiha incident, are you still connected with Uchiha Itachi? Danzo was almost angry when asked this. What connection do I have with that psychopath? He used that ninja crow to pass the message back. Didn't he also pass it to you, Hiruzen? If that be ********* D Uchiha Itachi still has a connection with Konoha, then he is also connected to Sarutobi Hiruzen, the Hokage. What does it have to do with me? The flame that burned down the root organization base was Amaterasu's flame, that should be correct. Sarutobi Hiruzen slowly retracted his gaze and said, and Amaterasu is indeed Uchiha Itachi's Mangekyo-I technique. So, the one who burned down the root organization base. It should be Uchiha Itachi. What is still uncertain is what exactly Uchiha Itachi wants to do. While delivering news to Konoha from the Akatsuki organization, saying that visitors from Otherworld have invaded the ninja world. And at the same time, he burned down Danzo's root base. Do you think there is such a possibility? Midokado Hamura suddenly spoke up and guessed, the visitors from Otherworld that Uchiha Itachi said are real, and the ones who burned Danzo's roots may be those people from Otherworld? Humph. Shimura Danzo snorted coldly and said disdainfully, do you still want to say that the one who destroyed my roots may be Uchiha Itachi from Otherworld? I think it's possible. Mitokado Hamura also said a little uncertainly. Pa. Danzo directly and mercilessly sprayed, what Otherworld? Uchiha Itachi told such a far-fetched lie, and you actually believed it? Think about it yourself, someone from Otherworld happened to come, and it happened to be Uchiha Itachi from Otherworld, and then he burned my root base. Is this more likely, or is it more likely that Uchiha Itachi himself did this? In Danzo's opinion, the one who burned his own root must be Uchiha Itachi. That guy, maybe he finally realized now that he was fooled by these people to be a knife to kill Uchiha. Then, he destroyed his own root to avenge himself. Dong dong. Sarutobi Hiruzen knocked on the table with his pipe, motioned for several people to look at him, and said, Danzo, there are many doubts about the two guesses you just said. If it was Uchiha Itachi who destroyed the root base, why did he suddenly do this? And if it is true as the letter says, that someone from Otherworld came to our ninja world, this kind of thing is a bit too absurd. To be honest. Sarutobi Hiruzen somewhat believed in Otherworld's statement. After all, this is so absurd. It's so absurd that it doesn't seem to be made up. If Uchiha Itachi really wanted to make up something to confuse people, why didn't he make up something reliable? How can we understand the idea of that idiot Uchiha Itachi? Shimura Danzo sneered, maybe he deliberately made up a ridiculous thing to distract us and facilitate his further plot. 11. DB. Mitokado Hamura was stunned and felt that this statement seemed to make some sense. So what is the situation now? Utatane Koharu looked helpless and felt that he couldn't understand it at all. Uchiha Itachi, what is he going to do? As soon as he finished speaking, the four people present were all silent. Uchiha Itachi, this person, in their opinion, is a psychopath. What he wants to do is hard to predict even for them. Suddenly. Knock. The door of the Hokage's office was knocked. Hokage-sama, important information. Umbu outside reported. #. Sarutobi Hiruzen and Danzo looked at each other and spoke. Umbu came in. Handed over an information scroll. Hokage-sama. Umbu said respectfully, we got the news from the Wind Country that the daimyo's mansion was attacked and the daimyo's family was killed, and the murderer is suspected to be Uchiha Itachi and missed. Hidden class rebel ninja Hashigaki Kisame. As soon as he finished speaking, Sarutobi Hiruzen and others were stunned. He quickly read the information carefully. The daimyo's mansion in the Wind Country, the daimyo's family, and the Jonin-level guards in the daimyo's mansion were all killed. According to the report of the survivors, the murderer is Uchiha Itachi. Someone saw the Sharingan, no doubt about it. What did I say? 1.0 Shimura Danzo slammed the table and said, Uchiha Itachi, this B******************* D, is indeed problematic. He must have completely betrayed Konoha now. Hiruzen, don't hesitate, this is no longer an ordinary traitor, we must strike hard. He actually killed the whole family of the daimyo. And it was the daimyo of the Wind Country, one of the 5 major countries. Uchiha Itachi, that guy, has become so bold now. Yes, Hiruzen. Mitokado Hamura also persuaded, killing the daimyo of the Wind Country, Uchiha Itachi actually did such a crazy thing. It is estimated that it will not be long before the daimyo of the Wind Country, Sunagakure, and even the Fire Country will write to us to ask. Uchiha Itachi, after all, is a traitor of Konoha. The daimyo may think that if Konoha had cleared out its own traitors earlier, wouldn't this happen? Sarutobi Hiruzen frowned, there are still many things that are not clear here. Now all these events, added together, are like a mess. I don't know what the truth is. Hiruzen, what are you still hesitating about? Shimura Danzo slammed the table again and shouted angrily, you are the Hokage of Konoha. The rebel ninja of Konoha caused such a big disaster outside, as the Hokage, you have to be responsible. Sarutobi Hiruzen's face was black. Danzo, this guy. He usually goes against me every day. Now he remembers that he is the Hokage? It just so happens that my root is gone now. Shimura Danzo said confidently, Hiruzen, allocate a new batch of funds to me. The root organization needs to be rebuilt. The power of the root organization is needed to hunt down Uchiha Itachi. No, Sarutobi Hiruzen flatly refused. Danzo, you don't need to intervene in this matter. The root organization has been too big to be eliminated before. Now that the root organization is gone, can he rebuild it again? Impossible. Episode 77. Shocking Black Neji. Even a dog wouldn't learn gentle fist, so he still has to hide his secrets? Just right, now your root is gone. Sarutobi Hiruzen continued, Danzo, you should take a break recently. You don't need to worry about Uchiha Itachi's affairs. Hiruzen, what did you say? Danzo was stunned for a moment, and then said in disbelief, my root organization base was completely destroyed by that D Uchiha Itachi. Now, you want me to rest? Not only did he not intend to give him funds so that he could rebuild the root organization. Instead, he was told to rest? There are still many doubts about Uchiha Itachi. Sarutobi Hiruzen said calmly, we need to investigate before making a decision. Danzo, don't do anything tricky these days. What are you still investigating? Danzo felt the veins on his forehead throbbing wildly. Uchiha Itachi's brother, Uchiha Sasuke, isn't he in the village now? Find a way to contact Uchiha Itachi. If he doesn't show up, just kill Uchiha Sasuke. By doing this, he doesn't believe that Uchiha Itachi won't show up. Danzo. Sarutobi Hiruzen suddenly shouted, I just said, don't do anything tricky. I will deal with Uchiha Itachi's affairs. You just said that I am the Hokage of Konoha. Danzo's face turned red instantly, staring at Sarutobi Hiruzen opposite him. And Sarutobi Hiruzen also stared at him without showing any weakness. There was silence for a long time. 77. Shimura Danzo stood up directly, expressionless, and began to walk outside. When he reached the door of the Hokage's office, Danzo suddenly stopped. Hiruzen, this is the last time. Danzo turned his back to Sarutobi Hiruzen and the others, and said faintly, you will regret it. After that, Danzo opened the door and left. In the Hokage's office, Minokado Hamura and Udatane Koharu were no longer surprised by this. Danzo didn't slam the door when he left this time? Minokado Hamura was only slightly surprised by this. With Danzo's character, Udatane Koharu asserted, he will definitely not give up. The entire root organization base was burned down. The ground above collapsed. If Danzo still does nothing, is he still Danzo? Don't worry about him. Sarutobi Hiruzen waved his hand and said, Danzo's root organization is gone now. Originally, he had to be a little wary of the root organization, but now, there are only 11 Danzo and Aburame Ryoma left. It won't be a big deal. By the way, Hiruzen. Mitokado Hamura suddenly said, how should we deal with Uchiha Itachi? They haven't really figured out the situation yet. Did Uchiha Itachi really betray Konoha? Send someone to investigate first. Sarutobi Hiruzen said preparedly, investigate the situation of the dragon vein. If there is nothing abnormal in the dragon vein, it means Itachi is lying, which means he really betrayed. Yes, that's right. As for the selection of people. In the past, when Minato sealed the dragon vein, Kakashi also went on the mission with him. Let's just let Kakashi go to the dragon vein to check the situation. Duh. It would be great if Jiraiya was there. They said they were going to find Naruto before, but Kakashi said they didn't seem to meet Jiraiya. I wonder where Jiraiya went to ****Ri again. Konoha Village. Outskirts of the Death Forest. Training ground number 23. Leaf Great Whirlwind. ×2. Boom. Two green whirlwinds, spinning at high speed, collided in the air. With exactly the same posture, two heavy whip kicks collided, and the winner was quickly determined. Swoosh. One of the figures was directly knocked out. 2. Rock Lee struggled and quickly got up from the ground, still energetic, and said, as expected of Mr. Guy, even if you have less than 30% of your strength, I am still no match for you. Might Guy gave a thumbs up, his mouth full of white fangs shining. If you want to catch up with the teacher, work harder. Yes. Mr. Guy. Rock Lee said excitedly, I failed to challenge Mr. Guy just now I will do 3,000 squats. After saying that, Rock Lee started to act without hesitation. Not far away. On a tree more than 10 meters high. There was a figure, observing this side in the dark. The one in the green tights. Black Neji, who had sneaked into Konoha village, observed the four people not far away, squinted his eyes and said, no mistake, Might Guy, it's him. P.S. The following will distinguish between Black Neji and White Neji, Might Guy. This name is so famous even in the Empire. He obviously does not have the blood of any descendant of God. He is not very good at ninjutsu and illusion. But Might Guy, he has forged a new path by tempering his body day after day. Who? Below, Might Guy suddenly looked at Black Neji with vigilance. Whoosh. In an instant, Might Guy's figure disappeared directly on the spot. The next moment, leaves were flying. Might Guy was already standing on the tree where Black Neji had just hidden. He looked around but found nothing. Teacher Guy. Rock Lee ran to the bottom of the tree, looked up and said, "What happened?" Might Guy looked around carefully and said, "I just seemed to notice someone staring at me." But there is no one on this tree? He obviously came to the tree with a body flicker technique immediately after noticing the abnormality. Buzz. Below. The veins in Neji's eyes popped out. He opened his white eyes and scanned the tree above. "I didn't find anything." Neji shook his head and said, "There is no one else up there." Teacher Guy, could it be some small animal? Maybe I made a mistake. Might Guy scratched his head in confusion and jumped down from the tree. Strange. He just clearly noticed someone staring at him. "Forget it, Mr. Guy." Rock Lee urged, "This is the area of Konoha village, nothing will happen, so you should practice quickly." "That's right," Might Guy nodded. He put the matter behind him. Then, the 4 people in Might Guy's class returned to the training ground again. Continued their own training. After a while, on the tree just now, a human face slowly emerged on the trunk. "You are really smart." Neji's face appeared from the trunk, and he looked at the 4 people in the distance carefully. No wonder His Majesty commented that he has the sharp intuition of a beast. He is now hiding in the tree through the mayfly technique attached to the white Zetsu coat. Otherwise, he might have been discovered just now. If it is a comparison of strength, his strength should be far stronger than the normal Might Guy in this time and space. In theory, he should be difficult to be discovered. Result. Just stared at Might Guy for a while. He was actually noticed by the other party. I can only say that he is worthy of being praised by His Majesty. Neji didn't dare to stare at Might Guy, but cast his eyes on the other 3 people. Rock Lee in this time and space seems to be following Might Guy in training. That girl with a bun seems to be called Tian Tian. She seems to be from the Science Ninja Tool Academy of the Imperial Central University. I have some impression of her, but I am not familiar with her. Then, the last person. This is me in this time and space. Black Neji observed White Neji from a distance. The forehead protector on his head should be to cover the curse mark, caged bird. This ninja world should still have caged bird, and the difference between the main family and the branch house. Not far away, White Neji was practicing revolving heaven with the help of Tenten. Tenten used Neji to practice ninja tool throwing, and White Neji happened to be able to practice with it. BX. The corners of Black Neji's mouth twitched slightly. What a primitive thing. Although Black Neji had not learned revolving heaven, he also understood the principle. This should be through the release of chakra through the acupuncture points all over the body, while coordinating with the high-speed rotation of the body, to achieve absolute defense of the whole body 360 degrees. But, waste so much chakra. At the same time, the defense strength can only be said to be average. The move revolving heaven has long been abandoned by the Hyuga clan of the Empire. With that chakra to perform revolving heaven, use a divine air attack to crush the opponent, isn't that great? D. Black Neji shook his head secretly. In this time and space, not only is he still using primitive things like revolving heaven, he hasn't even learned yet. Still in the learning stage. The more he looked, the more Black Neji could feel the primitiveness of this ninja world. Fortunately, there is His Majesty in my ninja world. Black Neji couldn't help but feel fortunate. If His Majesty hadn't opened up and improved many power systems in the past 20 years, I'm afraid he would still be using backward moves like Gentle Fist and Revolving Heaven. F. Not only that. If there is no His Majesty, he would be like himself in this time and space. There is still the curse mark of caged bird on his forehead. As a humble branch house, he has no freedom and is at the mercy of others. Black Neji concentrated on the practice of his counterpart not far away. Suddenly, he noticed something wrong. Not far away. Det. White Neji tried to use revolving heaven to dodge the large number of ninja tools thrown by Tian Tian. However, he was careless and missed a shuriken. The sharp shuriken easily cut open White Neji's sleeve. A blood mark appeared on Neji's arm. Fortunately, it didn't affect him. White Neji looked at his wound and said, "Neji, do you want to take a break?" Tian said with a little concern, you have been trying to use Revolving Heaven, which consumes too much of your chakra. Neji hadn't mastered Revolving Heaven yet. He was still in the practice stage. The result. This consumes a lot of chakra over and over again. Fatigue accumulates quickly. If you are not careful, it may be dangerous. No, continue. Neji shook his head and said, the Chunin exam is coming soon. If you can master Revolving Heaven before then there will be no problem passing the Chunin exam. With your current strength, Neji, there will be no problem passing the Chunin exam. Tenten couldn't help but complain. You actually have to master Revolving Heaven. Does Neji have a misunderstanding about the strength of those who take the Chunin exam? Even if Neji you want to continue practicing, Tenten looked at Neji who was a little out of breath and said, but, can your chakra still hold up? Neji was silent. Forget it, let's stop practicing Revolving Heaven today. Neji shook his head and said, use the rest of the day to practice other things. Seeing this, Tian was relieved, but he couldn't help complaining, why are you Hyuga clan like this? If someone could teach you, with your talent, Neji, you should have mastered Revolving Heaven a long time ago. And 8 trigrams palms, if someone could teach you, Neji, you should have been able to play 128 episodes a long time ago, right? You people in the main family are really too much. We are all from the same clan, but the branch house is not allowed to learn such moves. Gentle Fist Method, Revolving Heaven. And Gentle Fist Method 8 trigrams palms. These are all Neji who peeped at the people of the Hyuga main family and then practiced them by himself. I don't know how much time it took. With Neji's talent, he should have received better teaching. Tenten, you talk too much. White Neji's face changed slightly and reminded. He didn't want to talk more about the Hyuga clan. Tenten responded weakly. Not far away. On the tree trunk. Black Neji was completely dumbfounded. No, what's going on? In this world, I am still learning Gentle Fist 077, including 8 trigrams palms and Revolving Heaven. This, he still understands relatively well. After all, there is no His Majesty in this world. The Hyuga clan has been using these for the past 1,000 years. However, what did the little girl named Tenten say just now? In this world, I learned Gentle Fist 8 trigrams palms and Gentle Fist Revolving Heaven, but I didn't even have anyone to teach me? I just had to rely on myself to figure it out? No. The Hyuga clan in this world, are they sick? The Gentle Fist method is kept secret, and the branch house is not allowed to learn it? This thing that even dogs in the Empire wouldn't learn, but it's treated like a treasure, for fear that the branch house will learn it? Forcing myself in this ninja world to figure it out little by little and practice it myself? What the hell? Now. Black Neji finally understood. He was a little strange before. The principle of the Revolving Heaven move is obviously not difficult. With my talent, even if I want to master it, it should be very fast. Why does it take so long to practice? It turns out that he just figured it out slowly after watching others use it. No one taught him at all. No wonder it's like this. The Hyuga clan in this world. Black Neji's face was a little dark, what rubbish. Time passed. Night fell quickly. The 4 people in the Might Guy class also finished a day of practice. Rock Lee and Might Guy were still very energetic at this moment, standing upside down on the ground, supporting themselves with their hands, competing to see who could run faster like this. White Neji and Tian, who were lagging behind, also separated at an intersection. On the small road at dusk, only White Neji was left. Hey! Black Neji disguised himself and suddenly came behind White Neji. Do you want to learn Revolving Heaven? White Neji turned around vigilantly. Looking carefully at the person opposite, he found that he didn't know him at all. Who are you? White Neji said vigilantly. Well, someone who can help you. Black Neji suddenly smiled, then stretched out his hand and pointed it at White Neji. This? White Neji's pupils shrank. This posture, how, seems to be the opening move of Revolving Heaven. Very soon. Watch out. Black Neji opened his Byakugan, released chakra around his body, and began to spin at high speed. This is the Revolving Heaven you want to learn. A blue hemispherical chakra barrier. It is Revolving Heaven. VR. White Neji was stunned. Who is this guy? Is he a member of the main family that he doesn't know? How is it? Relying on his understanding of Revolving Heaven, Black Neji easily performed this move on his first try. Want to learn? If you want to learn, then follow me. With that, Black Neji turned around and walked back towards the training ground. White Neji's face changed rapidly. After hesitating for a while, he saw that the other party did not stop at all, so he did not dare to delay any longer and hurriedly followed. Episode 78. The Potential of the Byakugan. Hyuga Neji's Choice, Konoha Village. On the 23rd training ground. White Neji followed Black Neji and returned here again. Who are you? White Neji stared at the mysterious man opposite him. This guy also had white eyes, no curse mark, caged bird on his forehead, and just now he used revolving heaven. But White Neji thought about it carefully. In the main house of the Hyuga clan, he was sure that he had never seen such a person. Is there anyone hidden in the main house of the Hyuga clan? White Neji guessed secretly in his heart. This should be the most likely answer. Use all your strength to attack me. Black Neji said calmly, don't hold back, let me see your strength. What do you want to do? White Neji raised his vigilance. The other party is likely to be a hidden member of the main house. If a ninja from a branch house like me attacks someone from the main house, the consequences can be imagined. Even if the other party actively asked me to attack. But who knows if this main ninja will change his pervert degree in the future. Heh. Black Neji sneered, looked at White Neji with contempt, and said, why? Because you are from the branch house, you don't even have the courage to take action? In this case, then it's fine, you can continue to slowly figure out revolving heaven. White Neji's face suddenly changed. His face flushed, and his head subconsciously tightened. This guy. Damn it. No matter what this guy is planning to do. But, at least, I can't even dare to take action. Sorry. White Neji said, and then immediately opened his Byakugan. Resisting the fatigue after a day of training, he tried to mobilize chakra and chopped towards Black Neji with his palm. Swoosh. A burst of wind. White Neji's palm passed through the afterimage left by Black Neji. Too slow. Black Neji was standing beside White Neji at this moment, scolding him, and the movement is too big. Snap. A light slap. It hit White Neji's body, but it made White Neji fall to the ground. White Neji quickly got up and turned around. His eyes were full of fear. This guy is fast. I just opened my Byakugan and couldn't notice how he dodged. This speed is probably not worse than that of Might Guy Teacher, right? The speed just now seems a bit too bullying. Black Neji said lightly, I will control the speed next so that your eyes can catch it. White Neji gritted his teeth secretly. Then, calming down, he used his white eyes to quickly catch the opponent's movements and hit the opponent with gentle fist one palm after another. However, 2 palms, 4 palms, 8 palms. Until the 32 palms, all were hit in vain. Not even the opponent's sleeves could be touched. Damn it. The veins around White Neji's eyes became more prominent, and he crossed his palms and continued to hit Black Neji. Can't hit it, right? Black Neji moved around easily and mocked mercilessly, so many palms, consuming so much physical strength and chakra, but can't touch the opponent at all. Is this your gentle fist? Gentle fist method, 8 trigrams palms. Every palm you hit out is to hit your own chakra through the acupuncture points. In this way, if you can hit the opponent, you can hit your own chakra into the opponent's acupuncture points, which can block the opponent's acupuncture points and interfere with the opponent's chakra flow. Of course. The premise is that you can hit the opponent. If you can't hit, the result will be like what White Neji is like now. It's just a few dozen palms, wasting a lot of chakra, exhausting yourself, but there is no result. This backward thing, the Hyuga clan actually used it for 1,000 years. Black Neji now thinks back and can't understand it at all. White Neji fought with his tired body and hit 8 trigrams 64 palms continuously, but still couldn't touch Black Neji at all. Sweat kept sliding down his forehead, making the Byakugan's vision a little blurred. This guy. His strength must have exceeded his own by a lot. I hit 8 trigrams 64 palms continuously, and among the Chunin, my experience is also good. And look at the other party's performance just now. This guy's strength is at least at the level of Jonin. A hidden, Jonin-level ninja from the main family. 8 trigrams 64 palms is finished. Black Neji put his hands behind his back and looked at White Neji coldly, then what? You won't be helpless like this, right? White Neji opened his mouth, feeling aggrieved. 8 trigrams 64 palms, didn't hit a single palm. He is still learning the more advanced use of gentle fist, revolving heaven. Besides, Even if he learns it, what can he do? Revolving Heaven is a defensive move of Gentle Fist. He is now in a situation where he has tried his best but can't even touch the opponent's close Kakuzu. You should be 13 years old this year. Black Neji looked at his own body opposite him, shook his head and said, you are the same age as me, and your current strength is at most 10 decent chunin. White Neji's face changed drastically, looking at the face of the man opposite him. You said you are the same age as me? This guy is his peer? The same age as himself, but he has the strength of Jonin level? How is this possible? White Neji still has an understanding of his own talent. When he was in ninja school, he was always the first in the same grade. Even in the Hyuga clan, White Neji is confident that he is the most talented one in the same generation. And now, this guy in front of him. A strong man from the main family who came out of nowhere. A genius of the same age as himself? You seem to have some misunderstanding about me. Black Neji shook his head and said, I am indeed a Hyuga, but I am not from the main family of your Hyuga clan. Neji Bai's eyes shone. How is it possible? Born in Hyuga, but not the main family. But there is no caged bird on this guy's forehead. Neji Bai suddenly thought of a possibility. Could this guy be from the Hyuga branch house, and then successfully get rid of the caged bird in some way? This should be the only possibility. Instantly, Neji Bai's eyes became eager when he looked at the man opposite. Caged bird, the thing that bound his freedom and brought him an irresistible tragic fate, can it be gotten rid of? I seem to see something in your eyes. Black Neji's mouth curled up slightly, looking at his counterpart opposite him, and said, so, what do you want to say now? White Neji looked at the smooth forehead of the person opposite him, and his breathing was a little hurried for a moment. I want to know, if you are really Hyuga, then why don't you have caged bird? Obviously not the main family. But there is no curse mark, caged bird. According to the rules of the Hyuga clan, members of the branch house will be engraved with curse mark, caged bird when they are 3 or 4 years old. And if you want to get rid of curse mark, caged bird, there is only one way. Death. No exception. Oh gee. Black Neji suddenly chuckled, and instead of answering White Neji's question, he asked back, do you care about this? White Neji subconsciously wanted to answer. Of course, he cares about this kind of thing. This is a chance to crack caged bird and regain freedom. However, suddenly, White Neji felt that he seemed to understand something. The other party, this mysterious Hyuga strongman with an unknown identity, suddenly found himself, asked him to show his strength, and scolded him. Then, he asked himself these questions. What for? White Neji felt that he had guessed the answer. The other party might be testing him. If he could pass the test, he would get a chance. The chance to change his fate. I want freedom. White Neji took a deep breath and said firmly, I hope to get rid of caged bird. Black Neji paused for a moment, looked at the determined expression of White Neji opposite him, couldn't help but applauded, and said with a smile, it seems that you have not been completely castrated by caged bird. If the self in this time and space has completely succumbed to fate because of caged bird, then, even if it is his own isotope, it is already a hopeless waste. Now, introduce yourself. Black Neji removed the white Zetsu coat covering his body, revealing his original face. My name is Hyuga Neji. When White Neji saw the other person's face, his expression began to change. As a result, he heard Black Neji say his name. He was completely stunned. After some explanation, White Neji still had a look of shock on his face. But overall, he had roughly accepted this statement of the parallel ninja world. I see. White Neji nodded suddenly. Now, everything is explained. A Hyuga ninja without caged bird, who is the same age as himself but much stronger than himself, and he is not from the main family. Meet all 3 conditions at the same time. How can there be such a person in the Hyuga clan? If it is Otherworld, it makes sense. You are me in Otherworld. White Neji looked at the face opposite, which was very similar to himself, in a trance. But, you are the same age as me now, why can you be so much stronger than me? This self in another time and space, at least has Jonin strength. It's the same. Just grew up in different worlds. Why is there such a big gap between them? This is about the history of our efforts. Black Neji smiled and explained. After the establishment of the empire. At that time, Chang Ye had the strength to conquer the entire ninja world. But there are still many hidden threats in the ninja world. Chang Ye did not dare to relax at all. He must continue to improve his strength. After using chakra fusion technology to obtain the power of Uchiha and Senju, Chang Ye naturally turned his attention to other descendants of Kaguya. After Uchiha and Senju, the first target is naturally Hyuga, the Byakugan of the Hyuga clan. This is the original power of the Otsutsuki clan. The power of the Byakugan, if it is developed continuously, can also reach the level of 6 paths. So, according to the idea of cloning Mangekyo Sharingan in the past, Chang Ye and Orochimaru easily completed the cloning of the Byakugan. Then, combined with the above chakra fusion technology, turning the power of the Byakugan into your own use. And, compared to Sharingan, the Byakugan has another advantage. After reaching the level of Eternal Mangekyo, Sharingan needs to be combined with Senju or Uzumaki's Yang escape to open the Rinnegan and reach a higher level. And the Byakugan only needs to be continuously fused. As long as enough Byakugan are merged, the level of 6 paths can be reached in the end. Clone Byakugan, and even merge? White Neji was shocked. Does the Yuseong clan have no opinion on this kind of thing? Heh. Black Neji sneered, how could the Hyuga clan at that time not have any opinion? But, what can they do? Rebellion against His Majesty? It would be better to commit suicide directly. This would be more satisfying. Besides, Black Neji continued, after cloning Byakugan, our Hyuga clan can also use chakra fusion technology to improve the pupil power of our Byakugan. Not just their Hyuga clan. The Uchiha clan is the same. After having the cloned Mangekyo Sharingan, it has become easier for the Uchiha clan to upgrade their Sharingan. If you want to advance to the level of Eternal Mangekyo, you don't have to have all brothers open Mangekyo. Duh. White Neji nodded slowly, looked at Black Neji's Byakugan, and said with some envy, so, the reason why you are so much stronger than me is because you have integrated more Byakugan? So envious. In other world, there is no such technology. Even talents that are determined by nature can break the boundaries again. Not just this. Black Neji shook his head and said, although His Majesty attaches great importance to the power of the Byakugan, His Majesty does not like the original Gentle Fist of the Hyuga clan at all. In fact, Gentle Fist, not accepted. This statement first came from His Majesty's mouth. At that time the Hyuga clan was still very unconvinced. But the result? Faced with some of the new Byakugan moves developed by His Majesty, the Hyuga clan immediately turned into lickers. Crazy pledge of allegiance to His Majesty. What new moves? Neji's eyes revealed eagerness. How powerful is it? The pupil power of the Byakugan, in essence, is actually a manifestation of the power of Yin Dun. Black Neji opened his Byakugan and silently mobilized his chakra. If the pupil power is strong enough, you can use the pupil power of the Byakugan to shoot out the chakra in a nearly materialized form. As he said that, Black Neji suddenly aimed at the big tree where he hid during the day. Bang! An illusory palm emitting white light was thrown out. A nearly materialized chakra palm hit the tree, easily smashing the tree into pieces. This? White Neji was stunned. That was a Byakugan move just now? White Neji also had some understanding of the Byakugan's more powerful moves. After 8 trigrams palms and revolving heaven, there are 8 trigrams empty palm, 8 trigrams breaking mountain, etc. But these moves should consume a lot of chakra. And just now, look at this, the palm strike from Otherworld seemed to be effortless. The move just now is called White Eye's Air Attack. Black Neji explained, the specific power can be increased with the improvement of pupil power and chakra. If enough pupil power and chakra are released at one time, it can reach the Super Kage level. In this way, this move can be called God Air Attack. Opposite. White Neji was fascinated by what he heard. If he could become so strong. If he could get rid of Caged Bird. In this case, what the hell is he still entangled with the fate of the main family and branch house? Of course. Black Neji continued, even with the cloned white eyes and chakra fusion technology, how far you can grow still depends on your talent. Talent. I have confidence in myself. White Neji said confidently, in the same generation of the Hyuga clan, even the 2 eldest daughters of the main family, Hinata and Hanabi, are not as talented as mine. Suddenly, White Neji found that the body of the other self in the opposite time and space suddenly trembled. White Neji was confused. Did this guy tremble just now? Black Neji suddenly became silent for a long time, and then slowly said, you just said, Hyuga Hinata in this world, how is she? Episode 79, Neji's psychological shadow. The strongest person in the same period is Hinata? She? Just a weak young lady. White Neji was a little confused. Hinata, that young lady. What's wrong with her? Black Neji suddenly raised his head and stared at White Neji. You just said, weak? What the hell? Could he have heard it wrong? Yes. White Neji was stared at and felt a little scared, and asked in confusion, what's wrong with this? Opposite. Black Neji's expression suddenly became very wonderful. Some doubt. Some surprise. Some confusion. And seemed to be a little relieved. Del. Black Neji pondered for a moment, nodded slightly and said, about this world's Hyuga Hinata, what's going on, please describe it in detail. White Neji felt that he couldn't understand it at all. What is there to describe in detail? Just a weak young lady. Could it be that in another world, the young lady is different? That young lady. White Neji recalled, she is very soft-tempered, weak-willed, dares not speak loudly, blushes easily, has little talent, and is average, even worse than her sister Hanabi. Anyone with a discerning eye can see it. That young lady is unlikely to inherit the main family. White Neji estimated that the clan leader Hyuga Hayashi should be planning to train Hyuga Hanabi to be the next generation of clan leader. Wait, stop for a moment. Black Neji hurriedly called out, looking stunned, I won't talk about the personalities of those in front, people in different worlds may have different growth experiences, but, Hinata, the Hinata in this world, her talent is also average? How is this possible? He had learned about it before. The Empire's Hitaki Kakashi, Namake's Menma, Uchiha Itachi, and others. They are the same in this time and space. Although their growth experiences are different, their blood talents and other things should be similar. It's really average. Bai Neji nodded and said, especially in Gentle Fist, that young lady may not even be able to perform the 32 palms now. Even so, there is still someone teaching. And look at himself. By watching others perform Gentle Fist and learning by himself, he can now perform 64 palms. Even if no one teaches him, White Neji feels that he can practice revolving heaven very quickly. Black Neji frowned, well, although this thing is rubbish, if you want to learn it, Hinata's talent should be very fast. Strange. What's going on in this ninja world? 570 is not, what's the situation? White Neji asked curiously, in your world, is the talent of that young lady very strong? As soon as he asked this question, Black Neji on the opposite side was silent. His face seemed a little gloomy. As if he recalled some unpleasant memories. Hinata's talent. Black Neji was silent for a long time before he said, in the Imperial Central University, among the generation of people of the same age as me, there are still a few who are about the same strength as me, such as Namake's Menma and Uchiha Sasuke. The three of them are all descendants of gods. Now their strength has reached the level of Super Shadow. What about Hinata? Neji Shiro asked curiously. Neji Shiro sighed softly, shook his head and said, she is now close to the realm of all things. Huh? Neji Shiro was confused, what does all things mean? It sounds like it is very powerful. Well, how should I describe it to you? Neji Shiro thought for a while and said, my current strength is at the level of Super Shadow. As the name suggests, my strength is a realm above the 5 shadows in the ninja village era. And all things is a level higher. Well, let me think. The legend of the Sage of 6 Paths, you should have heard of this, right? Legend has it that the founder of the Chunin sect, the Sage of 6 Paths, possesses the Rinnegan, and the Rinnegan is the power of all things. Across the street. White Neji was completely stunned. Senramin. How did this involve the legendary figure of Sage of 6 Paths? Are these legends true? And that Miss Hinata. She from Otherworld is actually close to the legendary level? Of course, although Sage of 6 Paths has Rinnegan, his realm is not limited to this. Black Neji added, however, Hinata's strength level is indeed close to the level of Rinnegan's Senramin. White Neji was stunned. Well, let me put it this way. Black Neji gestured to the area of Konoha village on the side. With Super Kage level strength, using all his strength, he is enough to fight against a large ninja village alone. Konoha village is so large that he can completely destroy it with one person. And the power of Senramin. If you want to destroy Konoha village, it's just a matter of waving your hand. With the power of Rinnegan. It's just an area as big as Konoha. It can be torn apart easily. You mean? White Neji's jaw dropped, the other world, that Miss Hinata, her current strength should be able to easily destroy the entire Konoha? What kind of strength is this? I'm afraid that even the third Hokage is not enough in front of this kind of strength, right? Black Neji shook his head sadly and said, Menma, Sasuke and I are already the strongest in the same period except Hinata. But compared to Hinata, the three of them together are not good enough. Even if the three of them join forces and work together, in front of the violent girl Hinata, they will be beaten and run away. He has been traumatized. But Menma and Sasuke are fine. After all, they are not of the same clan as Hinata. But I am miserable. I am from the Hyuga clan with Hinata. Their fathers are brothers. The two have known each other since childhood. And this is the result. I have been living in Hinata's shadow since I was a child. That lady is so powerful. Neji Shiro is still immersed in shock. In another world, the strongest person of the same generation is not himself, nor Uchiha Sasuke, but that lady Hinata. Neji Shiro suddenly thought of something and asked curiously, Hinata in another world, her strength is so strong, what is her personality like? From the reaction of this person who is just now in another world, Hinata seems to have a completely different personality from Hinata on his side. Don't ask that. Black Neji was silent for a moment, with a dark face, and directly refused to answer, what does this have to do with you? He didn't want to recall those tragic past events. White Neji was a little puzzled. Why is this man still anxious? Anyway, just remember it. Black Neji carefully warned, don't provoke her. What if His Majesty sends Hinata here later, and you accidentally provoke him, then you'll have to pray for your own good. White Neji was a little confused. Is the Hinata in Otherworld so scary? It's like a flood and a beast. Oh, forget it, let's not talk about her. Black Neji shook his head and dispelled the memories in his mind, just take care of yourself first. As long as you are loyal to the Empire and work for the Empire, you will have the opportunity to get what you want and the opportunity to control your own destiny. Hearing this, Neji immediately became excited. Control your own destiny. Once. In his opinion, this seemed to be something completely illusory and unattainable. Just like his father and Hinata's father. They are twin brothers. But one was born a little earlier. He became the main house. The other was born later. He became a branch house. Because of the short time before and after birth, the fate of the two people went on completely different tracks. No matter how hard they tried, it was useless. The branch house was the branch house and they could not change their fate. They could only obey the orders of the main house, and even die for the main house. What should I do? White Neji took a deep breath, tried to calm down, and asked Black Neji. Didn't I just say it? Black Neji smiled and said, be loyal to the Empire and work for the Empire. Well, but your current strength is a little weak, so you should improve your strength first. The self in this time and space. Now you are at most the strength of a Chunin. Beeb, this can be said to be of no help to the Empire. White Neji frowned slightly. What exactly do you plan to do with your empire? Of course, it is to invade this ninja world. Hey Neji said calmly, then, we will transform this ninja world according to the path we think is right, said. Black Neji looked carefully at the expression of White Neji opposite him. Suddenly he sneered. What? Black Neji said with a mocking smile on his face, you are not still resisting, are you? Why are you resisting? Is it because of your identity as a Hyuga clan ninja? Or your identity as a Konoha shinobi? White Neji looked a little confused. I want to control my own destiny, but I am still a ninja of Konoha. He also has some companions in this village. If the Empire of the Otherworld really invades, I don't know what kind of impact it will have on this world. Konoha's ninja? Black Neji sneered and said, you are not still agreeing with the so-called will of fire, are you? Hey, it's time to wake up. You are just a branch house slave engraved with caged bird. Obviously a slave, you still have a sense of ownership, don't you think it's ridiculous? Boom. White Neji's face suddenly turned pale. In his mind, it was as if something had shattered. What this guy just said. It seems to be right. I am just a Hyuga branch house. Not to mention, the Hyuga clan does not have much say in the Konoha high level. Even if the Hyuga clan can squeeze into the Konoha high level, what does this have to do with their branch house? The will of fire, I have seen this in history textbooks. Black Neji nodded and said, generally speaking, it is to teach Konoha's ninjas to value their companions. But, that's what I said, but aren't the people from the Hyuga branch house companions from the same village? Those people from the main family, did they treat you as an equal companion? When you were engraved with the caged bird, did the Konoha ninjas, who should be your companions, come out to stop it? Wake up. You are just a Hyuga branch house, but you still believe in the will of fire. What a spy. The words were like a string of cannonballs. White Neji's face turned pale when he heard it. Yes. When he was engraved with the caged bird. No one from his fellow village came to help him. They are obviously from the same village, but they are artificially divided into superior and inferior in the Hyuga clan. The Hokage who preached the will of fire never said anything for the branch house. Not only that. And my father. Because Cloud Shinobi forced his father to death. For the sake of so-called peace, he threw his father out to die so that others could lie on his father's body and enjoy peace. White Neji gritted his teeth, his face looked ferocious. This is the damn will of fire. Hateful. I actually believed in this kind of thing. I should have woken up long ago. Hey. Black Neji was a little surprised and said, what did you remember? Your mood swings are a bit big now. He felt. If I give this homologue of mine a pair of Sharingan now, this kid is likely to open his eyes in a minute, and he will rush from 1 Magatama to 3 Magatama in a row. What I just said should not cause this kid to react so strongly, right? I want to know. White Neji's expression suddenly became silent. In your world, is father still alive? Black Neji's face changed slightly. Are you saying that in this time and space, father is dead? Did he die in the war in the past? No, it shouldn't be. Look at the reaction of his counterpart on the other side. There seems to be other hidden secrets here. Oh gee. White Neji was silent for a long time before he sneered. Then. The incident that happened nearly 10 years ago. Tell it from White Neji's mouth. Listen to White Neji's story. On the other side. Black Neji was already stunned. What a mess. There is such a thing? Cloud Shinobi's envoys ran to the Hyuga clan, went to kidnap Hinata. Ran to the Hyuga clan to kidnap? Are they crazy? The result. As expected, they were caught by Hyuga Hayashi and killed on the spot. It's over. The people of Cloud Shinobi actually threatened to fight and force Konoha to hand over the people? No. Cloud Shinobi village. Are those people in the lightning state so shameless? Also. Cloud Shinobi asked Konoha to hand over the people. Konoha actually handed them over? How could this be? Black Neji suppressed his anger and said, Konoha village, in the era of ninja villages, should have been the top of the 5 major ninja villages in the ninja world, right? Is there any difference here? That period should have been the weakest period for Konoha. White Neji shook his head and said coldly, the Nine Tails rebellion ended, the 4th Hokage died in battle, and the ordinary ninjas of High also suffered heavy losses. That's it? Neji felt like he was about to laugh out of anger. So, Konoha actually handed over my father? Then what? What about Cloud Shinobi? Konoha is so weak, did they attack Konoha? In his opinion, Konoha made this choice. At least it can be said that Konoha was indeed weak to a certain extent at that time. And if that's the case, shouldn't Cloud Shinobi start a war immediately after testing Konoha's strength? If not now, when? White Neji shook his head. After that, Cloud Shinobi did not start a war with Konoha again. Black Neji was so angry that he trembled all over and cursed, ridiculous. Konoha has become so weak. But Cloud Shinobi did not choose to take the opportunity to start a war. What does this show? It shows that Cloud Shinobi does not want to fight anymore even in this situation. I'm afraid that the reason why Cloud Shinobi dared to threaten with war was that he guessed the situation of Konoha and wanted to blackmail Konoha before the final truce. And the Konoha in this time and space. It actually really stupidly gave up its own people and threw them to Cloud Shinobi. What will of fire? Bullshit will of fire. A bunch of trash. Episode 80, Black Neji's Revenge. Let Sarutobi Asuma assassinate the daimyo? This is not right. Hey, Neji frowned. How can it be like this? There are only 4 possible situations for this matter. Don't fight after handing over the person. Continue to fight after handing over the person. Don't hand over the person, don't fight. Don't hand over the person, continue to fight. The reality is the first situation. But this means that it's completely in vain. How could Cloud Shinobi choose not to fight just because Konoha handed over the person? If Cloud Shinobi can still continue to fight, then seeing that Konoha handed over the person, he should continue to fight. The reason for choosing not to fight can only mean that Cloud Shinobi can't fight anymore. Then when Cloud Shinobi couldn't fight anymore, Konoha chose to hand over the person. Pure idiocy. And if, the second possibility, Konoha foolishly handed over the person, and then Cloud Shinobi fought. That's even more stupid than the reality. The third possibility. If they don't hand over the people, Cloud Shinobi won't fight anymore. That means Cloud Shinobi is just bluffing, and not handing over the people is the right thing to do. The fourth possibility. Not handing over the people and then continuing the war. It seems that Cloud Shinobi started fighting in anger because Konoha didn't hand over the people. But the problem is, doesn't Cloud Shinobi know what they did? It's obviously them who did something wrong. They bite back. Will they choose to start a war in anger because Konoha didn't hand over the people? Where is the anger? It's obviously their own envoys who committed suicide and went to the Hyuga tribe to die. If Cloud Shinobi really chooses to start a war at this time, it means they did it on purpose. Sacrifice a member of the envoy to obtain a war declaration against Konoha. As for the fact that their own envoys died in Konoha, this is purely an excuse to start a war. White Neji listened to Black Neji finish the four possibilities one by one. The whole person was stunned. Yes. No matter which of these four possibilities it is, the conclusion it leads to is the same. I can't hand him over. If I hand him over and he doesn't start a fight, it means I've been cheated and I'm an idiot. If I hand him over and he continues to fight, it means I'm a complete idiot and a big complainer. If I don't hand him over and he doesn't start a fight, it means I've done the right thing and I really shouldn't hand him over. If I don't hand over the person, he will continue to fight me, which means he wants to fight me anyway, so it's useless to hand over. In the final analysis, it's the same principle. Black Neji said coldly with a gloomy face, war is a major national event. How could Gauteng really choose to start a war just because of such a small matter as whether or not 10 people can come? Going to war for one person is an excuse. Ceasefire for one person is also an excuse. War is the continuation of politics, and there are all-round reasons behind it. How can it be just because of one person? Tits. Black Neji turned his head and looked in the direction of the Hokage building, his eyes cold. I am very curious now, they are really stupid enough not to figure out these things. This is another reason. Another reason? White Neji's face changed. If it's not stupidity, then could it be that they did this on purpose? There are only two possibilities. Black Neji sneered and said, the Konoha high-level officials are either stupid or bad. Or they are so stupid that they were bluffed by Cloud Shinobi and foolishly killed their own people. Or there is a conspiracy behind it, and they did it on purpose for some reason. ID. Black Neji suddenly shook his head and said, these should not be important. For us, whether the Konoha high-level officials are stupid or bad, does the result make any difference? White Neji was silent. That's true. No matter what the truth is, his father was indeed pushed out to die by the Konoha high-level officials and the Hyuga family. Since the result is like this, no matter whether the Konoha high-level officials are stupid or bad, should they choose to forgive those people just because Konoha Gaokong is stupid? For the next period of time, you should improve your strength first. Black Neji said with deep eyes, you are too weak now and can't help much. However, with the level of this world, it shouldn't take long for you to improve your strength to a level that is enough to help the empire. Now this homologue of his has the strength of Chunin. With his help, it should not be a problem to improve the strength to the level of Jonin in a short time. Jonin's strength. If it were in the empire, it would be nothing. But if it were in this world, it would have played a little role. Die. White Neji frowned slightly and nodded, in the future, what do you need me to do? Is there anything I can do to avenge my father? Leave these things to me. Kuro Neji shook his head and said, Sarutobi Hiruzen, Shimura Danzo. Ha! Killing them directly would be too easy for them. Outside Konoha village, Kuro Neji and Kuro Itachi reunited. They told each other about their previous experiences. They stared at each other and listened to each other's words. They were both shocked. I was already speculating about the Konoha high-level officials with enough malice. Kuro Neji said in shock, but I can't imagine that they can be so blatant and wipe out the Uchiha clan in Konoha village. And they used the son of the Uchiha clan leader to do it. It's almost the same on your side. Korwatachi couldn't help but pinch his forehead. I thought that the Uchiha genocide in this time and space was confusing enough, but it turns out that your Hyuga clan's incident is no less confusing. After saying that, both of them were silent. I didn't know what to say. Originally, before they came, they had heard a lot about the ninja world from Kuro Kakashi and Namikaze Menma. At that time, they thought that although this world was outrageous, it should be only this outrageous, right? It should be difficult to be more outrageous, right? As a result, there are really more outrageous things. About your Hyuga clan's incident, Kurasuchi frowned and thought for a while and said, I tend to think there is a conspiracy. After the Nine Tails Rebellion, Sarutobi Hiruzen came back to power, but his position as Hokage should be unstable, so there is a need to crack down on the various ninja clans. For the Hyuga, the Cloud Shinobi incident was used to crack down on them. And the other ninja clan that was even more dissatisfied with the Konoha high-level officials was the Uchiha clan. Because they had never been able to successfully crack down on the Uchiha clan, they finally exterminated the Uchiha clan. This is no longer important. Black Neji shook his head, his eyes cold, and said, what we should think about now is how to make those high-ranking people in Konoha pay the price. How to avenge those people. If they just kill those people, it won't be a problem for them. However, just dying once seems too easy for them. Based on what those bastards have done. Just dying once is not enough. Black Itachi frowned, and a lot of information flashed in his mind. I suddenly have an idea. I don't know if it is feasible. Tell me. Black Neji asked curiously. Del. Black Itachi sorted out his thoughts and said, when the Empire completely conquers this ninja world, if it wants to transform this ninja world, it must kill the daimyo. Of course, if the daimyo can be killed more smoothly, it would be even better. Therefore, someone needs to take the blame for killing the daimyo. Just like myself in this time and space? Black Neji didn't quite understand, what does this have to do with those daimyo? Isn't it about how to retaliate against Sarutobi Hiruzen and others? Why is it related to this? Listen to me. Black Itachi continued, killing the daimyo is the biggest crime in this ninja world. No matter which ninja, if they kill the daimyo, they will not be able to escape punishment, even the descendants of the 5 Kage. If the descendants of the 5 Kage kill the daimyo, can the 5 Kage protect their descendants? Maybe you can try it and not hand him over. Anyway, the daimyo's military power is not as strong as that of the Jonin village. But there are other ninja villages in the ninja world. The daimyos of other countries will not tolerate such things. Under the instigation of the daimyos of other countries, other ninja villages will probably unite to attack the ninja village that sheltered the murderer. This is what happened in the history of the empire. Because His Majesty once killed the daimyos. After that, almost all the countries and ninja villages in the ninja world united to attack Konoha together. Of course, the final result was that those people were defeated by absolute power. But in this world, no ninja village has absolute military power. Wait, I think I understand what you mean. Black Neji instantly perked up, quickly analyzed and said, if Sarutobi Hiruzen's descendants killed the daimyos, then even as a Hokage, it would be difficult for him to shelter his descendants. As he spoke, Black Neji's eyes lit up. Yes. Good idea. In this case, Sarutobi Hiruzen needs to worry. Or, hand over his descendants to calm the anger of the daimyos of various countries. Or, refuse to hand over the person, and then wait for the coalition forces of the major ninja villages. See what he chooses. Sarutobi Hiruzen has a son named Sarutobi Asuma. Black Itachi said the information he had seen in the mind of the root ninja before. It just so happens that Sarutobi Asuma used to be a guardian warrior who guarded the daimyo. Dent. It would be very interesting if it were this way. Sarutobi Hiruzen's son, who used to be one of the 12 guardian ninjas, suddenly went to assassinate the daimyo, but was accidentally exposed. In this case, perhaps someone would associate it. Sarutobi Asuma, why did he become one of the 12 guardian ninjas? Is he trying to scout the area and get familiar with the terrain for assassinating the daimyo in the future? And if that's the case, does Sarutobi Hiruzen know about it? Heh. Black Neji imagined this scene and couldn't help but sneer. In this case, Sarutobi Hiruzen's problem at that time may not only be how to protect his son. He also has to think about how to get himself out of the situation. Whether Sarutobi Hiruzen can clear his suspicion or not, it doesn't matter to Black Neji. This is just a bonus. For Black Neji, the most important thing is to let Sarutobi Hiruzen be forced to give up his son and experience the dilemma his father once faced in this time and space. This plan should be feasible. Black Itachi carefully sorted it out again, nodded and said, "We need to control Sarutobi Asuma and let him assassinate the daimyo." He wanted to hide his identity, but accidentally exposed it. No problem, perfect. Black Neji nodded repeatedly. So, now, go find that Sarutobi Asuma first? At the same time, the capital of the Land of Fire. Sarutobi Asuma had just finished his mission and sent the captured pet cat back to the wife of the Lord of Fire. Land of Wind. Sunagakure. Office of the Kazekage. Lord Kazekage. Kakuzu had just come back from outside, and at this moment he respectfully reported to Kurosa, "I have killed all the people on your list." After being brought back to Sunagakure by Kurosa. After a profound re-education, Kakuzu fully realized the preciousness of life and expressed his willingness to devote his future life to the great cause of the empire. And Kurosa did not treat Kakuzu, the defector, too harshly. He signed an employment contract with Kakuzu that included a basic salary and performance bonus, equipped Kakuzu with an Imperial standard communication watch with a white Zetsu coat function, and also provided some new 5-element escape techniques for Kakuzu to learn. However, Kurosa also made it clear that Kakuzu was only in the probation period. If after the probation period, he judges that he does not meet the formal recruitment standards of the empire, he will take other measures to squeeze Kakuzu's surplus value. Well, writing probation period, read as suspended sentence. Kakuzu is helpless, but dare not resist. His teammate, Haiden, is very stubborn and refuses to cooperate. As a result, Kakuzu has not seen Haiden for a long time now. I don't know whether he is dead or alive. Facing these visitors from Otherworld, he can't even escape, let alone resist. If he commits suicide, he will be used by impure world reincarnation. So he just cooperated honestly. Isn't it just a change of boss? What's unacceptable? In addition, Kurosa is generous in paying, and Kakuzu is also satisfied with his new job. Yeah. Kurosa raised his head from the table, glanced at Kakuzu, and nodded with a smile. Yes, this way, we can more easily control the power of the Wind Country. Although it is not impossible to use violence directly. However, if a more strategic method can be used, with appropriate violent means, it will be more efficient. The result of this is that now, he has completely controlled Sunagakure. He has even begun to slowly seize the power of the entire Wind Country. Now, the whole family of the Wind Country daimyo has been killed. The entire capital of the Wind Country is in chaos. Kurosa seized this opportunity to kill a group of people who blocked the way, beat and intimidate those who were ignorant, bribe those who knew the situation, and absorb those who were talented into his own people. Little by little, the power of the Wind Country slowly concentrated in Sunagakure and in the hands of him, the Wind Shadow. The whole process was extremely smooth. Temari, Kankuro, and Gaara, the 3 siblings, have been assisting Kurosa in his work and running errands these days. They saw with their own eyes all kinds of operations that Kurosa performed that they could not understand at all. However, although they could not understand the operations, they could understand the results. Sunagakure's original serious financial difficulties were completely solved without them noticing. Sunagakure and Kazekage, who had been bullied in the Kingdom of Wind, now have more and more say. In addition, Kurosa's attitude of accompanying them on a daily basis is much better than Shirasa's. Now, the 3 siblings are almost used to treating Kurosa as their biological father. As for Shirasa, he was controlled by Kurosa and continued to pan for gold in the desert. Let's just call it waste utilization. And Shirasa himself is now desperate. During this period of time, he watched helplessly as the imposter replaced his position and did a better job than him in the position of Kazekage. One by one, his trusted subordinates were subdued. Even the teacher of Gaara and the other 2. His original confidant, Huisai. Now he has become the subordinate of the imposter. Even though the imposter bluntly said that he was from Otherworld, Baki still chose to be loyal to him. What else? Lord Raza of Otherworld is also Lord Kazekage. Anything that can make Sunagakure better, he will accept it. Shiro Raza, who saw all this, was completely desperate. Dong dong. Baki, the current trusted subordinate of Kurosa, walked in and reported respectfully, "Lord Kazekage, Elder Chiyo wants to see you."